am Lorian, and this is Knitting Monologues, episode 27. It is Sunday, May the 18th, and I am coming to you from my former living room in Connecticut. And I come on here and chat with you about knitting and fiber knitting related activities and events and purchases, and sometimes there's a little bit of ceramics thrown in, and just generally what I'm up to. Thank you for checking out this episode or this channel. If you are not subscribed, please do so. I think I'm about, a couple of subscribers away from 1100, which is really fun. And it's been a while. I called it my month of mayhem. It's still May, but my spring break was kind of the start of 4 weekends of constant travel or having friends, and it was fantastic. It was exhausting, and my allergies crept up on me, but it was an amazing couple of weeks of just activity. But that also meant I just could not get in a podcast, mostly because my allergies went really sort of off the rails. More about that later. I'm really here to talk about my knitting. So first and foremost is what I'm wearing, which it's not quite a finished object. These seams need to be sewn up. This is an Easy V. It's a pattern by Caitlin Hunter. This yarn is hand spun from my friend Shannon, and this yarn is simply wool worsted from Knit Picks. So Shannon gave me this beautiful purple yarn, here's the bottom edge, as a gift, and I wasn't sure what I was going to make with it. She told me it would stripe, but I wasn't really sure how it was going to stripe up. And truth be told, I have knit 2 Easy V's already. It is a pattern that's designed with a color work yoke V-neck. I really wanted a V-neck, and I was looking for a worsted weight pattern, and this came up. And a couple of people have definitely knitted without the color work. Both my other 2 versions have the color work. I love them. I love the fit. And I thought, this yardage is going to work well. I already know the pattern. Why not just go for it? The one thing that I did, which I have talked about before, is I knit these sleeves together using steek. So it was basically 1 tube, which is how they match up perfectly yarn-wise as far as the striping goes. The body I knit pretty much as to pattern. I knit the size 3, which is what my other 2 are, and other than the color work, it was just a lot of stockinette. But I really think it shows off the yarn and the striping beautifully. This is definitely my year of purple. I've knit more purple than I think I've knit ever before. So Shannon had these really cute tags made up, and I had the information on the yarn. So it was about 710 yards. She had it in 3 different skeins of varying weight and yardage, which she noted. The colorway was called Seasons Change, and she spun a 3-ply worsted. It is a BFL silk blend. I knew it was going to be drapey. And then the Simply Wool worsted, again, that's a Knit Picks. I think it says the color is Winnie. This yarn comes in all kind of natural tones, and then it comes as a like barber pole with 2 different naturals together. This put up is, it's 100% eco wool, and it says 218 yards for 100 grams. All that I have left to do is to seam up these steek panels which are the underarms of the sleeves. And I called this Wrapped in Friendship, initially just because it was a gift, the yarn was a gift from Shannon. And I'll talk a bit more later on and show you some acquisitions from Maryland Sheep and Wool. I decided this was the year to go to that festival, and I really wanted in the past to try to find a bus or a train, some other way to go. But truth be told, coming from Connecticut, we just needed to drive. And I said I'm driving to a bunch of my local friends and Shannon, who lives in New Jersey, almost a local friend. And I was like, whoever wants to ride in the car, you're welcome to one. And we had so much fun. We went on Friday. We left just about 7:30 on Friday morning, drove down. It is a solid 5 to 6 hours. I was the driver. And the one thing I asked everybody to do was knit around. I think I was below the arm sleeve, like the armhole divide for the arms at that point. And some people knit more than one round, but it just was a nice thing that I have stitches from all of my friends in this sweater. Everyone who was in the car. So it was just I don't know, an idea that I got. I wasn't worried about everybody's gauge. It's hand spun. It was fun, you know. Nobody was like super tight. I think it was Shannon herself who said, is it okay if I knit more than one round? I'm like, have at it. Because, you know, I lost that time knitting because I was the driver. So more on that to come. This is probably not something that's going to see a lot of wear until the fall, but I'm happy that that I have it done. And I think this pattern is beautiful. I know a lot of people didn't love the neck, but for me, this neckline works well. It does open up a bit. I did not do short rows on any of my versions. I had read that from another person who I think tested it, but knit it pretty early on. And I don't think it needs it. I did not do them on any version. That was really my main deviation other than the color work this time around. So a lot of fun. And it's probably, I think it's one of my only hand spun sweaters. I'm not a spinner, so I don't have a lot of hand spun. Okay, moving on. I do have another finish, and I think I can show you a picture of it because I gave it away as a gift. So let me search my photos. It's not pulling it up. Great. So I knit my mom the Sonar Shawl. I'm just gonna see if I think I took a picture before I gave it to her as a gift. Pretty sure. I know I have a picture on my project page, so I'm sure I gave it to her with, I'll pull it up on my project page. I gave it to my mom for her birthday when I saw her last weekend, actually. And it is a striped semicircle shawl, I think I said designed by Cindy Garland, who designs also under Wild Prairie Knits. And I believe her husband and she are behind Stunning String Studios. I have knit many of Cindy's shawl designs. She's one of the most prolific and varied designers, from cables, mosaic shawls. I have knit quite a few of her designs, and I know she has a club, she does beading, all kinds of stuff. You cannot go wrong. They are all beautiful. Okay, here's the picture. So I know doesn't really look like much. That's while it's blocking. Truth be told, did I use up all? Oh no. It was a fairly straightforward shawl. It was, it had increases, just making it grow. A pretty easy repeat. One of the things I really appreciated was it had a chart so that you could sort of tick off which row was which color. My mom wanted a neutral shawl. This is actually only one of the colors. This is a light tan, and then there's a cream or an ivory. This yarn is by Foster Sheep Farm. It is the Galway 2023 Harvest. It is 80% domestic superwash merino and 20% nylon, and fingering weight 447 yards per 100 grams. I just want to say I adore Carol of Foster Sheep Farm. She is out of Saratoga, New York, and she is retiring after this year. I did see her at Maryland Sheep and Wool. I will see her. She's doing all the big events, but truth be told, she is selling off her flock. She's ready to retire. She's keeping a few sheep for her grandkids, and she's had an amazing run. Her yarns are beautiful. She often also partners with Saratoga Spuds, or soaps, not spuds, soaps, and has soaps, gorgeous soaps at her display, and that person is also continuing through, like, I think an online shop. So I use these two colors together of Carol's yarn, which I purchased, I think it was at Fiber Festival of New England, because I knew at the time my mom wanted a neutral colored shawl, and my mom loves stripes. Cindy's patterns are a no-brainer, like, not a no-brainer, like, you can't go wrong. They always come out beautiful, look gorgeous. So I did finish that for her, and hopefully she's enjoying it. For the one that I knit did not come out huge. It came out like not a shawl, a scarf, but like not an overwhelmingly long shawl. I think wrapped up, it's very elegant. So highly recommend doing anything in her of her designs. Okay, moving on to what I have in progress. Just looking to see where the ball band of this is. Everything's just in a giant like heap here. Oh, here we go. So at one point, Magpie Fibers had a sale on, I think, anything in their shop, and I had really been interested in this base, this Plume. See that base? And it is a cashmere blend, so it's 76 or so. I don't know what it says. 75% cashmere, 25% silk. It's a 25 gram put up, 325 yards. Making matters. And it is a lace weight yarn. This is it. And Hohi Locatelli designed a pattern called Pluma Morada, which is it just takes one skein. I actually bought this yarn in two colors because I couldn't decide which one, and I've started this. Of course, it's like knitting with air. I don't do a lot of work in lace weight yarns, but I thought this would just be a very elegant scarf shawlette. I originally thought I would make two of them. I don't know if I'll use the second skein in, it's a different color called, I think Careless Whisper, a plummy mauve. I don't think I'll make this. I might hold it double and make something else. But it's a combination of lace work and ribbing, and it's very, it's pleasant to work on. I don't really do, like I said, I don't do a lot of work in lace. This will sort of fill me up for another year of lace. I don't do, or lace weight knitting. But it is a very pretty base. Okay, I am also working on one of the things I decided that my wardrobe needed was a classic, basic, white-ish cream colored cardigan, lightweight. And my go-to pattern for that is the Featherweight cardigan by Hannah Fetig, which is a top-down raglan cardigan. Very simple. I have two of them already, and I'll just show you a raglan there. So one modification I made is I added 2 stitches to each raglan spike or spoke. And I think I'm knitting the size 4 this time, which is what I knit the last time. It is fingering weight yarn. It is knit on a size 6 needle. Pretty much do it to pattern. I might change the ribbing from a 1x1 to seed stitch when I get to it for the cuffs and the waist and the neckband. We shall see. The yarn I am using is, again, like depending on the lighting, it can look bright white, it can look very light gray, or it's not really a cream. But it isn't really a bright white either. It is the natural color, and I found this yarn at Vogue Knitting in New York City this year. It is 100% American Rambouillet Merino non-superwash. It is called Merica by Patricknit. And it just fit the bill. Non-superwash is my jam. I love Rambouillet. I wanted white, needed fingering. that was pretty much all she wrote. So I know it's going to get a lot of wear. This is a very easy, at this point I'm just doing my increases with the raglan. It's a very easy on-the-go project because I know what I need to do for my increases, and I have still, I don't know where I am, but I feel like I've still got a ways to go. Maybe I'm halfway down. And I would love to have this sometime during the summer. So this is really kind of one of my planned summer knits. I switch really over, for the most part, to fingering weight knitting come the warm weather. So that is the cardigan. Okay, next. I'm gonna, I'll do that after. I meant to start with something else. I had a little giveaway on episode 26 based on whoever wanted it, and I'll announce that. I'll announce that after I get through my whips. All right. I feel like this is, again, the Caitlin Hunter show, but I couldn't help it. I loved Millie of Tribe Yarn's version of the Halibut sweater. Nothing I even really wanted to knit, but when I saw hers, I knew I needed this yellow. If for no other reason, I don't know. I don't have a lot of yellow. I look okay in yellow. Butter yellow is in. This is like electric yellow, so not really the color of the moment. But she knit the Halibut sweater and did a knit along with it really like in December, around the holidays into January. And she was still offering the Zoom recordings. And this is very much a process knit for me. So I have never knit a sweater this way whatsoever. Yes, it's a top-down color work yoke sweater. It's a swancho based on how it's designed. The sleeves come way low. I'm used to elevating my sleeve divide, which is part of what this knit along was about. It's not a tutorial, but it has a lot of great tips. The main difference for me is that at this point, I am knitting the color work flat using intarsia. I haven't gotten far enough, but under each of these diamonds sits a halibut fish motif. And each one of them, I can't pick it up. It's just too much. But each one of them, that's like a pile of bobbins. I have 10 bobbins, more or less. One I'm actually knitting just like Millie in the red. These are her colors with the exception of this green. I substituted the green where she had a very dark blue or black. I'm doing the red for one fish. I'm doing quite a lot like her. I'm doing the same size she knit. I sized up in a needle, same collar, which is 4.5. There were 3 options for collar. And wow, I'm learning a lot. And this is gonna take me, it's gonna take me a bit. I can't fly through this because knitting color work on the wrong, like flat, is not at all my thing. All of these bobbins are like, I still have not figured out, I wish I could show you all of them. Like that's the pile of green bobbins. I did learn how to make butterfly bobbins quite nicely, so that's good. Since one fish is the red, I'm just using the whole ball. I don't need a bobbin. I like weighed out my yarn. The way I made my bobbins is I weighed out the green yarn. I had 2 balls of it. This is Woolia, same yarn that Millie used. So here it is, Woolia by Gebhard. It comes in a 50-gram put-up, and it is technically an Aran weight yarn. I think this is a worsted weight design, but she used the Aran weight. I am getting about 18 stitches to 4 inches. I think she got 17. I'm just going with that, and mine is the unblocked gauge. There are things I'm doing that she recommends that I'm not doing, which was like included swatching using an entire fish motif. No, thank you. I'm using, and then the green. I'm using the green instead of where she used the dark blue. I just ordered this like a couple of days ago, and I've just gotten to all of this color work and set up all of these bobbins and stuff today. So I wasn't sure exactly how much yarn each bobbin would take. I wound out 10-gram bobbins because I basically have 100 grams of yarn. I wound out 8 10-gram bobbins because one is red, and I just left the remaining for the last bobbin in the one ball itself. So now obviously this is much easier. This is going to yield a much lighter sweater, because double stranding the entire sweater, if you weren't doing intarsia, would mean carrying a lot of yarn through certain parts and making this a double thick garment. So I can definitely see the value in doing that. I just need to get my rhythm now with the flat color work and how I'm going to manage all of these bobbins. I feel like I'm not selling this. I was sold on the design. I'm not, with these colors, it got me. I try not to get gotten, but I got gotten. So stay tuned on that. Let's see, what else? I don't have any other works in progress. Okay. So let me talk about, let me interject right here. On episode 26, I showed these earrings. These are designs by Yasmin. They're beautiful. Am I showing you the wrong side? I'm showing you the wrong side. They have these little beads in here. They're a little large in format for my face. I have a fairly small face and head. And Janet, who is Yarncentrik 2176, please contact me through Ravelry. They're all yours. I'm delighted to send them to you. You need to live in the US though. I wasn't sending them internationally. Nobody else commented. Janet, they're all yours. I'm happy to send them to you because they're beautiful, and they're not even that heavy given the size, but they're just too big for me. Okay, my month of mayhem. Spring break. So it started, I think it was the third week of April, and the first weekend I went with two of my friends who practice yoga with me to Kpalu, which is the largest yoga school in the United States. It was founded by Swami Kpalu and embodies a lot of his teachings. It is in the Berkshires, which is one of the hills in Massachusetts. Beautiful setting. The building itself used to be I think it's a Franciscan Novitiate, I could be pronouncing that wrong, where novice priests start their studies or their entry into the priesthood. And it is very modest facility. This is not like see and be seen. This is not, this is a very low key, which was appreciated by all of us. People from all walks of life, all ages, all fitness abilities, some people are there really more for the meditation. Some people are there for programs. They're very big in programs and in trainings. There was a kids circus yoga program that went on. Again, it was part of certain spring break week, so families were there. It is not like a hotel. You eat amazingly delicious and healthy foods. It is served cafeteria style. Everything is marked. If you have an allergy, you can feel comfortable going here. My friends and I did a couple of hikes. We did forest bathing and creative stuff. We took yoga classes. I took a couple of meditation classes. They offered like journey dance that we didn't do. And it was just lovely and very grounding. Really, really nice. Simple accommodations is what I would say. I shared a room with one of my friends. It was more like a dorm room. The bathroom was in the hallway and showers were there, and they had a sauna. We went to the sauna. Everything was fine. It was clean. It's not an upscale place. There are other places right in the Berkshires in Lenox, Massachusetts. There's Miraval, there's Canyon Ranch that are more spa wellness places. I have not been to Merica, but I've been to Canyon Ranch years ago, and those are lovely as well, but a very different take. The yoga we did was really interesting. The two people, as I mentioned, practice with me. They are my friends, they are my students, and one had never practiced yoga outside from practicing with me, and when she said, I felt really comfortable in that class. Like I felt like I knew everything that we were being instructed to do. And I was like, you know, as a teacher, as a yoga teacher, that is really my goal. I don't think I've gotten attached to yoga teachers before, and it's just never healthy. People move, schedules change. You need to be comfortable in your own practice and knowing your body and how it feels. And it's wonderful to take a lot of variety and take yoga with you. So, so that was really fun. That was 2 nights. I was home the week that I was off, and then the next weekend, 5 of my friends from college came to my house. They came from all over the country, from Denver, Asheville, Nashville, Minneapolis, and Ann Arbor, came into LaGuardia Airport. I picked everybody up. We took double the amount of time to get back to Connecticut. We had dinner, caught up. The next day we went into New York City, and the one thing everybody wanted to do was see a show, and we saw Hell's Kitchen, which is a coming of age story and takes place right in Manhattan, and has a lot, is all, the score is written by Alicia Keys. If you know any of her music, it's probably in there. She wrote 3 original songs for this show, and it was just such a feel good. I mean, the music was brilliant, the dancing, the set, the vocals were amazing. And we got to see one of the leads make her professional Broadway no, that's not the right way of saying it. Her Broadway principal premiere. Her principal Broadway premiere. So the first time she's had a leading role and performed it on Broadway. And she was phenomenal. So it was just really, really kind of special. We didn't know that until after the show was over. And I think she's an understudy, but whatever. It was fantastic. And then we went out for dinner at a restaurant called Ilili, which I went to once before. It is Middle Eastern Lebanese food, great for a group. Everything we had was really quite delicious. And then we got back to my house the next morning. We went out for brunch, and then they gave me the gift. They took an Uber all together to the airport. Saved me like solid 2 to 3 hours of time. But it was just wonderful to catch up. We try to see each other every 12 to 18 months. It was the first time everybody had come here. Unfortunately, it was a rainy weekend. It didn't slow us down. And really, the group we could be anywhere. Okay, the next weekend, Maryland Sheep and Wool. So as I mentioned, I was the driver. It's about 5 hours. We picked a hotel in Ellicott City, a basic residence inn. We really weren't planning to spend a lot of time there, and we did not. And it was super convenient, right off the highway. We bought tickets to Yarncentrik, which is a pop-up event in Frederick. So we dropped our bags in at the hotel, and then we drove over to Yarncentrik. We had tickets from the 2 to 4 p.m. time slot, and it was a hot day. I think we left Connecticut, it was in the 70s. It was in the 90s in Maryland in the first second day of May. I was dying. I was not really ready for that. I mean, I was watching the weather, and it was hard to know because it was like threats of rain. So we did all bring boots because we had heard Maryland Sheep and Wool gets muddy, cars get stuck. I wasn't worried about that. I drive an SUV, but I was like everybody. I brought plastic bags to put everybody's wet footwear in. It's a little tricky to know what to dress. Frederick is as adorable as they say it is. So we parked in town, walked a short ways to Yarncentrik, which is in I think a community center type building. There were several trucks outside, like vending. There was a drink truck, maybe a separate food truck. I don't really remember. I would say it wasn't super busy between 2 and 4. The vendors had definitely seen the crowds earlier. There was plenty of product. I was just sort of in shock from the temperature. I don't know. I didn't go into this weekend really with much of a plan of what I was buying for. I just wanted to take it in. And truth be told, nearly every fiber festival I go to is in the fall or winter. So to go to one in warm weather was a little weird for me. not gonna lie. The one thing I was like, I want to buy something, but I was just still settling in, I guess. So hang on, I'm just gonna take this off my screen. Here we go. Okay, sorry for that. And so Cakewool, I've worked with her yarns before. I bought some at an event last summer, and she had these really sweet silk scarves, and this one is gold with some yellow and blue specks and red or pink, and it's very small, but it does tie right around my neck. And that was my purchase. I think she purchased it also there. So I think Michelle, so the people who went with me, Michelle, Debbie, Carla, Shannon, Angel, is that right? Michelle, Debbie, Carla, Shannon, Angel, 5, and me, 6. Michelle purchased this as a gift. I have to thank my friends, because while I did the driving, they took such good care of me. Anything, like we needed to buy gas, somebody's handing their credit card. I didn't even have to look in my wallet. Angel took care of car snacks, navigation. It was like never a problem. We needed to switch gears. I'll get to dinner. That was a bit of a tricky. Michelle purchased this. You know I love turtles. Camp Stitchwood was there. So I think she bought it there at that event. This is a sea turtle. It's my favorite, my absolute favorite. So I have to figure out, I put it on my bag that weekend, but at one point it fell off and I was like, nope, I'm holding on to it. So that was also from there. Okay. I'm just looking at what's in front of me. Then we went into Magpie Fibers, into their flagship store. Yes, it's in a converted bank. It's a lovely shop. It is not just a yarn store. They have stationery, they have embroidery, they have, I don't remember if they had fabric. I cannot remember that one. But yarn is only in a certain section of the store. There were all kinds of other crafts, and it's beautifully merchandised, spacious, seating. It was busy, like there were other people, you know, in there and shopping, cute gift cards, needles, you name it. I did not make any purchases there. Again, I didn't go into this weekend, which is very unusual for me. I did not go in with much of a purchasing plan at all. Okay, I feel like I'm missing one thing that I thought I had with me to show you, but I guess I don't. Okay, so we left there, and as I had maybe told some of you, we planned to have dinner at a place called the Walrus, Oyster and Ale, and I was like, meet us there. Well, it turned out that was not possible. It wasn't even open anymore. Like, it was taking us to Washington, D.C. They had a few locations. That was a mess. So we were heading back. We were like, I just felt really badly because I said that's where we would be, and that is not where we were because we couldn't be there. We ended up eating at another place, met up with Tasha, who was lovely to meet. I had never met her. We'd been friends for years online. And she ended up joining us for dinner, and that was just fantastic. We went back to the hotel, did a little bit of knitting all together, and crashed. And we decided, you know what, we are not going to, I have to go get my mug because I don't have it here, and I thought I did. We decided we aren't going to try to be there at 6 or 7 a.m. like some people are. We're just going to leave the hotel at 8:30 and make our way over. And I have to say, we got really lucky because some people did not. Some people were stuck in an hour of traffic, and whatever way the GPS took us, we got lucky. So I'm going to quickly show you the things that I got at Maryland Sheep and Wool. Let me just see. This is 25. So my friend Jenny, Renninger Wool Co., she said to me, what do you want? Because I think some things might sell out. And is this that? 25. Oh, I have 2 of these. Okay. Well, one thing, she gifted me one of these skeins And this is the Morit. These were the colors that she brought to the event, and I got one of each. She also let me purchase, she didn't give me, I purchased these 2 additional skeins from prior harvests. This one is, this light gray is from 2024, and this one is, I'm not even sure if it says, is 2021. I'm going to put all of these together along with this, which I had left over, and this, which Jenny had left over, into a vest, a colorwork vest, a Marie Wallem vest called Venmentry. I also purchased, Jenny had these sweet little lavender sachets. This smells amazing. And I purchased, I did purchase a mug. They're all sold out. I had to have one. I don't have it here to show. I thought I had it in front of me. I also purchased some yarn from Mitchell Wool Co. Becca called, I was about to walk past them, headed to Jenny. I didn't even see, and Becca goes, "Hey, Lorianne." I had to stop, chat with her, chat with Cindy. "Sherry, I'm sorry you weren't there. I missed you." And they told me we have some of our original, yarn, our original harvest. I don't even know if this tells me when it's from. No, it doesn't. So I purchased some of their Targhee worsted, 2 of the blue, 1 of this cream color. They're original. I feel like I found them pretty early on before they quite blew up. I'm a big fan. So I'm really happy to have that. The last thing I wanted to show you that I purchased is the skein of yarn from Simple Hill Farm. No, the Rosefield. Sorry, the Rosefield. I saw this yarn at Fiber Festival of New England. This is a farm. They are they're south of Pittsburgh. And this yarn I found at Fiber Festival of New England. I didn't know what to do with it. It was only available in worsted. It was the softest, I'd make a sleep set. I'd make a twin set, I'd make a bra out of this. It is so soft. It is 60% merino, 25% angora, and 10% tussa silk. This is 450 yards of fingering. It was $57. It's going to be worth every penny. I mean, it is so amazingly soft. I am planning to knit with it another one of these. This is Batik. It is a small shawl pattern by Kitman Figueroa. I knit this years ago. I don't know that I'll use all of this up. Maybe I'll size up on my needle a bit and make it a little bigger. I love the size of this. I find it super wearable. I think it was one of the most engaging, interesting patterns with the cables, with the lace. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to wrap it up with that. And this is another vendor who I fell in love with her yarn. I didn't have a plan for, but one day I will make a purchase from her. Simple Hill Farm. Her lines are actually the same as Renninger Wool Co. Okay, I've gone longer than I meant to, and I have to go get dinner going. It's been great catching up. Please just say hello in the comments, and Janet, get in touch with me, and I will see you soon. Bye.